How's it going, guys? Welcome to Audio Addiction. We have a returning guest here with us, and he can say his name and what he does in the band.
Hey, what's up? I'm Boz from Capstan. I play bass and I do vocals.
Awesome. So the last time we talked, there was a lot of stuff that was like in the wings that didn't happen, or that did happen actually, and you guys are on Warped Tour, and you released a new record now, and there's just been a whole lot of stuff. You went to Europe. So, like, how has it been? It's been a while, and it's been must have been a crazy journey so far.
It has been. I think the last time we talked was almost 2 years ago.
It was just before you announced for Warped.
Just before Warped. So, yeah, like at least 18 months ago.
Yes, easy.
I would say. So, since that point, let's just say things have gone like this.
Oh, yeah.
Which feels incredible. But, yeah, we did Warped, and it was a huge learning experience. Getting to go out there with so many bands and people you look up to, production crews, just the people that make it work every single day. You learned a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And then you add that to, like, you know, how professional a lot of our friends that we met on Warped were, and just learning how to survive the grind every single day.
Yeah.
Like, that Warped was such a learning experience, and honestly an experience I think we'll all, like, never forget.
Oh, absolutely.
And then you move into, I believe, after Warped, we came home. We started prepping for the record.
Yes.
And then, so that was a bunch of writing and demoing and rewriting. And then we went on Silverstein.
Yes.
So Silverstein, that kind of took what we learned on Warp to a new level, but from like a very personal, relationship with the guys in Silverstein.
Yeah, absolutely.
But also like learning from As Cities Burn and Hawthorne Heights too. We just all the pointers of how to like go about being a band day in and day out has just helped us realize like, okay, we can play the music, we can write the music, we feel good about that direction, but how do you do everything else?
Yeah.
And
definitely.
so it's exciting when you feel like you kind of put those pieces together. Now here we are, first headliner, promoting the new record, and the first two shows have been excellent. Tonight looks like it's going to be excellent. We couldn't be happier to be here.
We are just experiencing all of the weather here.
I saw your camera.
I know. I saw my camera move for like 2 seconds, and I'm just feeling startled right now. But anyway, so obviously you had a new record out, which we've been talking about. Like, how was that process? I know we talked about it a little bit off camera, but like, you know, how was that? Like, how was working with Andrew Wade? I don't know if you worked with Andrew Wade the last time, but like, how was that? Obviously, like continuing that legacy, and you know, just being a band that. You know, he's got to be, like, one of the top producers out in the scene now. So, like, how is it going back to him and, like, you know, learning about, like, new stuff and, like, kind of creating new songs and, like, just, you know, doing the whole record thing all over again pretty much?
You know, being in Orlando, I think we had all talked about Wade for a while. It was one of those things where we were – it was on our wish list, if you will. Yeah. And so when the time actually came after signing with Fearless behind the scenes – before the whole process of the announce happened, we told them, we were like, this is who we would choose.
Yeah.
And that's Stars Before the Sun. That's what came together. So that single was at least 6 months or 8 months before the record actually
came out,
announced or dropped. And so once we did that, we were kind of weighing the options of then, okay, who are we doing the record with? It was an easy decision, and he really wanted to work on it too.
That's great.
Well, yeah, it's excellent. And being right in your backyard, sometimes you're like, going away to record is nice because you can be inspired
that, like,
and
mental,
focused on it. But at the same time, for us, it was nice because we actually had more time in the studio.
Oh, that's awesome, yeah.
Because we were so close. So if he was like, hey, this session that I was supposed to be doing on this off day got canceled. Do you guys want to come in?
Yeah, and work, yeah.
Yeah, and then we also went a little longer because he was like, super interested in helping make it as absolutely perfect as it could be.
Yeah, it sounds awesome.
It felt great, and it was so organic. And you talk, his roster that he's worked with speaks for itself.
Yeah, of course.
So, you know, not only being a Florida band that wants to follow after some of those other Florida bands, but it was convenient, and he gets us. He gets what Capstan is, and he doesn't try to really change us. He just tries to bring the best out of us. So.
And that's how I felt on the record, which, by the way, if you haven't checked the review, please do so. I know it's super long, but I feel like I go in-depth on it. But it's really cool to see kind of like the mashup of different genres. I will say, like, after I first saw you guys at like Voltage, actually, ironically enough, the last time, I I only knew about you through Jesse. Shouts to Jesse. And so I didn't really give you like the full attention. I was just like I try to listen to like a lot of the bands that I go to see, but I was just like let me just go experience it live first. And I was just blown away, and I bought both of the records, and I was just like floored. So when you guys had announced that you were like not only signing to Fearless, but also like releasing a new record, like I was like, how are they gonna like top that? How are they gonna do it? And so like, and you're also talking about off camera that the single that you had guys released before like Fearless was announced, like you had other songs that you were possibly going to like, debating
what
to put
the
on.
single was going to
so,
be.
So like, what was the thought process of like, let's put the single we worked on with Andrew Wade, like the first single, Stars Before the Sun, to go on the record versus maybe like another track or like maybe one that you came up with in the studio as opposed to that one?
So I'll start off by saying Capstan has been a band that absolutely has been ready for a full length for at least since before In the Wake of Our Discord.
Yeah.
We kind of wanted that to be LP1, and with the songs we had written, it could have easily been that, but in a way we're really happy it didn't happen that way. Adventure Cat, which was like an amazing opportunity. It was a one record situation. They kind of gave us a little bit more of a platform that we needed, and shout out to everybody from K Management and Adventure Cat, because everything that they did for us during that time and suggesting like let's do the EP. We went back to Seth, who once again shouts to Seth as well, because we'll never not love those experiences with Seth. But when we came into this record cycle, we knew, okay, Fearless, all of this leading up to this point, we're going to drop a single with the announce.
Yeah.
But we also had a ton of other things lined up already happening right after that point. Yeah. And Fearless suggested, let's put studio on hold. So we'll get you in there, we'll get a studio or a single done.
Out,
and then we got all this awesome shit happening.
Yeah.
And so for us, we're like, yeah, that sounds great. Stars was one of, I think, 2 or 3 songs we were debating of being like the first single.
Okay.
And we felt it really fit like the kind of, while we're very emo and slow at heart, it fit the kind of like headbanging, like post-hardcore, bringing back some of the vibes of the early to mid 2000s that Capstan is.
And you wanted that energy, because like if you're like, this is the first single we're releasing on Fearless, like taking the jump from Avenger Cat to Fearless, like you're like, we have to make the jump worth it, like we want to have people come in and be like, I've never heard of this band, but I love this single. Like, what's coming on?
Exactly.
Like,
There's always going to be those deep cuts and those sing-alongs, but we were like, this one fits. So we did that, and then it took, like I said, about 6 to 8 months to get to the point of the record.
Yeah.
And it was very difficult to even whittle it down to 13 tracks.
I'm sure. Yeah.
We could have put probably 15 to 17 on there, just by the way that Joe's an animal with like writing. Harry, me, Joe kind of always work together on lyrics. We just have tons of stuff that we always kind of are combining and meshing together. Sure. Scott and Joe refining the songs, and then Anthony really bringing his ear and melody to it. Capstan's like this. We kind of are always having new songs and ideas rolling out. And when they're like, okay, you get to pick how many songs, but don't go crazy. We're like, okay, like how do we do that? Yeah. So Restless Heart, Keep Running was whittled down to 13 tracks, 12 full songs with the intro we felt was right. And then we had to put Stars Before the Sun on it because it needed a home.
Yeah.
Not that it didn't not fit, but it was a Wade recording. He mixed and mastered very similar to how he did on the full length 4 Stars. And we were just like, this makes sense here. We wouldn't want to just leave it all on its lonesome. Sure. So, and there you get 13 songs. And I guess we'll have, I don't know what the B-side situation is.
Ooh, B-side? Okay.
But we have some interesting, different sounding songs that didn't make the record, but would be really fun to release.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
People who saw us on Silverstein, we played one that didn't make the record, which is a little awkward, but you might hear that on a recording, sooner rather than later. Or maybe never. I don't know. We'll see.
It's all up to the Fearless gods.
We don't really know yet, so... That was just a teaser, but we'll see.
Maybe you just have to at them on Twitter. Just
Yeah.
ask for it. You know,
Maybe.
politely. You know, I feel like I would ask for it. I'll ask for it, honestly.
I mean, we always want to do more songs if we can. So,
but that's great, and like I love seeing a band that like takes a lot of songs and just like really. Like, not to say that bands don't collectively think about what they're writing or like what they put on a record, but I think it's cool to see the perspective of like we want all 12 songs to just be like nuts. And I felt like that's what I got. Like even with adding on stars, I felt like it felt right. It fit with the record, it fit with the whole theme of what you guys are going for, and like I think personally, not to kind of spoil anything, but I love the record. I think it's one of my favorites of the year, and it was just so like well executed. It's technical, it's melodic, and I think you guys did something that I feel like a lot of other bands are, I wouldn't even say afraid to do, but just like I feel like bands always get hate for like keeping the same sort of stuff for like 4 albums or whatever, and I feel like there's so much hate for people that like just go out of the way and just experiment. So like what do you guys take into account like when you're recording and like writing a record? Do you like think like, oh, is this what Capstan fans are gonna like, or do you write like something like, I want to write something that like all of us guys like collectively love, or striking the balance between the two? I
exactly.
guess.
What you were saying right in the middle of that is such a true statement about how bands are sometimes. It's not necessarily afraid, but I feel a very common trend in the industry is that a lot of people in music, in our vein specifically, they try to like make their music fit the trend of the time.
I agree. 100%.
You kind of see what I mean?
100%.
So like what's happening right now is, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing at all, because you do have to follow trends. Like unfortunately, like easycore isn't as prominent as it was.
Oh yeah.
Like 5-6 years ago. So I could go down the list of those types of genres, but Capstan specifically, like we said before the interview, we walk that line so hard. And
yeah, you do.
We have to kind of put some of our own interests aside a little bit because, I mean, for example, like Joe is a major prog
and
death metal
you
fan.
Can hear it. You can hear it too. But
and so like we can't go too much that way, but it's really fun to bring elements of that in.
Oh, absolutely.
And then, I mean, we're a post-hardcore band with emo and punk or pop punk elements in it, and that's kind of like the line we want to walk. Restless Heart Keep Running had to be the record that we kind of put what Capstan is on the map. You heard it like kind of in the early days, and you hear bits and pieces of that, but you also hear kind of what's more current, more along the lines of what was in like Cultural Divide and In the Wake of Our Discord. But it's more advanced, it's more thought out. We could probably write, albums in 5 or 6 different genres, but
and still be fine.
And maybe we'll have a chance someday.
Maybe we'll
to do that, which would be absolutely sick. Do some concept records, which is definitely on Joe's wish list. Scott too, but Restless Heart was really, it was the culmination of what we've been waiting for as a band, where you have finally just enough space to create something that like it's taken people that have listened to us to the highest highs that they've ever heard of Capstan, the heaviest breakdowns, and also like the lowest lows, the prettiest singing, harmonies, melodies, Anthony actually doing falsetto, Joe's doing deep screams, I'm coming out of my element singing differently now, and it's just Scott's advancing on the drums so much. Harry, I mean, his vocals, or Harry's lyric writing, like really the one-liners, we all have a role in a spot, and we've all learned each other so well that now it's just like blossoming into this thing that we're like, this is kind of what we always wanted out of music, to really test, push it farther, but not to weird people out. We don't want to weird people out.
You want to kind of like keep the balance.
Yeah, incremental steps. And we were like, for this first one, we can't do like a concept record. Like, let's do what we think people that know Capstan and that have enjoyed us and followed us would want to hear out of a record, and just take it a step further. And I think we accomplished that.
Definitely. All right, Boz. Well, we were talking about the record, so I have to ask, what is one that you love to play live? I don't know how many of the new songs you're playing live because obviously we're doing this in the future.
Sure.
But what's one that you like to play live, and what was one that you like to work on in the studio? Like, what's your baby? Which one do you love?
Great call. I think live, it's easy for me. Like the one off the new record that we are playing is Fix.
Oh, yes.
So Fix is one of my favorite songs. I just love that sound and that feel.
That energy.
Yeah, the energy. And it's I don't know, it's like a 3-chorus, less than 3-minute long banger.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just go up there, fucking crush it and be done. And we do a lot of weird things in some other songs, and some of them are free form, but that one just, for what it is, it's just 3 minutes of pure energy.
You know what you're getting.
Yeah, and I love that about it. In the studio, I can definitely 100% say for everyone, and what may be our collectively favorite song on the record
interesting.
Is The Love That Remains, which is the last song on the record. As you know, and I'm sure people have noticed that No Capstan is, we really like to bring something special for the final song.
Oh yeah, that was nuts.
Something like a little bit out of like the rest of the record and take you some places like Dyneema on In the Wake of Our Discord, and obviously God, I can't even think of the song name from Cultural Divide. The Death of an Illusion.
Definitely, there you go.
And I think we even did it with Blood, Toil, Tears, Sweat. For any of you that know the deep Capstan, which is Seasonal Depression.
Yeah.
That song in the studio was just, it really started to kind of come together. Like, I don't know, it felt like, wow, I think we created something really special with this one.
Absolutely.
But it also is unlike the songs on the record in many ways, and that was cool because it still fit. It still felt like a great ending cap piece. I guess my honorable mention for that question would be, one of the things we loved really was just using auxiliary instruments. And things that we haven't. I'm sure we love the piano.
Yes, it was awesome.
And the saxophone.
Yeah, that was sick.
So those two especially, and the songs that we were able to put some of those flavors in, it was like, this works. And like
it did. It was so cool.
We like that. So that's just part of the fun, to experiment with stuff like that.
I will say, like, my first listen, like, I put it in my car, I put it on Bluetooth, and I was like, as soon as, like, I forget what song it is, but, like, I think it's, like, the 4th or 5th, because I don't really look at it. I'm just, like, listening.
No, yeah, just jamming.
I'm just, like, jamming. But once that saxophone came in, I was just like, what? Like, what is this? Like, what? This it came out of nowhere.
Good, that's what we wanted.
Just, like, I was so thrown, because, like, the first song had piano. I'm like, okay, this is nice. I like it. I hope they, like, incorporate it into other songs. But, like, as soon as the saxophone came in, I was just like, what? Like, this is so weird, but it, like, works. And I was, like, so, like, it was so cool. But at the same time, I was just, like, so thrown by it at first hand. And then, I listened to it probably, like, between 20 or 30 times. And I was just like,
thank you.
I'm like, this is nuts. Like, the whole record in general, because that's what I do. But,
we've
like,
liked so many bands, like, over time that use a little bit of horn.
Yeah.
One of them right now that we think is really cool is Thank You Scientist.
Yes.
Like,
they're
and
awesome.
they're kind of off a lot of people's radar, but if you haven't heard them,
Jersey
check them
band.
out. Yeah, more proggy, but just such a cool vibe. And Emarosa now has a sax in a few songs, but we didn't really we didn't make the decision because of one band or another, but we really wanted to get that type of sound. So violins someday, we hope, but obviously we had literally everything was real instruments, the live bass, the viola.
That's sick.
So it was really special the way we got to do things.
Awesome. Boz, I have to keep it relevant. You're on tour. So, who have you been jamming? What have you guys been listening to in the van lately?
Oh, that's easy. So if anybody likes hip hop, and I'm not lying, okay.
Is it country hip hop?
Yeah, country hip hop. It's called hip hop. I know what you're thinking. If you're listening or if you watch this, you're like, I don't know what this dude's about to say. Do yourself a favor. Yeah, do yourself a favor. Type in the artist on YouTube or on Spotify. Big Wet. Big Wet. So Bigwet, with a space, Big Wet. He's become like he's our anthem. He's got like only 3 songs.
Do you play it before you hop on the stage?
We play it right after we get off stage.
Oh man, I thought you put it right on.
Don't worry.
Oh.
But Big Wet, like it'll totally throw you through a loop the first few times you hear it, and then you'll get it. You'll understand, especially because we're all Midwestern boys.
Okay, so that makes sense.
Yeah, by what he sings about and stuff. But on like a real note,
that's real though.
Yeah, it is. It's very real. It's really, I guess it doesn't pertain to this style of music, but that's
okay,
as real as we are.
That's as real.
We're fucking weird. So, but actual music that we've been loving and jamming hard. God, the band Camino.
Yes, they're
just
awesome.
came out with that record is absolutely awesome. Our good friend Johnny Minardi has been working on them, and that's kind of how we discovered
That's
them.
awesome. Shout out to Johnny.
Yeah, Johnny. Periphery's new record,
Yes.
Hail Stand. Some of those songs are freaking ridiculous and awesome. And I was just jamming. I just told you the new bass side that came out today.
Yeah,
Absolutely
I was
awesome.
surprised.
I was jamming it in the gym, and it sounds fantastic. We'll be on tour with them, West Coast, coming up in December. So if you see this before then, get your tickets.
There you go.
Otherwise, just kind of the normal, weird shit that Capstan likes. A mix of punk and prog and rock and hip-hop.
Awesome. My next question, Boz. If there was one album that you wished that you wrote, what album would it be?
Wow, that's a great question.
Thank you.
Fuck. Can I say a Sugar Ray album?
Absolutely. Any Sugar Ray album.
Probably any Sugar Ray album. No, honestly, if I could, this is weird, but it'd be Running with Scissors by Weird Al Yankovic.
Really? Okay. I need an explanation, Boz.
All right.
I really need. I understand it, but I need an explanation.
Okay, it's a good explanation. I promise you.
Okay.
So, my dad knew me and my brother liked Weird Al growing up. I don't even know how I heard of him. I think my cousin, who's a couple years older, listened to him, and I loved it. He did spoofs of catchy tunes.
Oh, absolutely.
And my dad, it's funny, at the time, I think I was 9. I had zero aspirations of being a musician at the time.
Oh, wow, okay.
I was still too early on, but my dad took us to a concert. The first one I ever went to was Weird Al.
No, it was not.
Yeah,
That's
Weird
so
Al
sick.
Yankovic. It was sick. Like,
yeah.
I don't think I ever went to another, like, real, like, you go to a venue with a ticket concert in my life. And I remember while the show was very silly, he had just came out with Running with Scissors, which is, like, kind of an album that really brought him to his next level.
Yeah, it's classic.
And now he's, like, a satirical genius, like,
He is.
in popular media. But that, I'll never forget, like, 9-year-old me, while the costumes and the production was hilarious, it was amazing.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Like what he did and how good he was to performing and watching the real musicians on stage. It was like, it wasn't the only thing, but it was something that made me be like, that would be cool to do.
And then you're like, now I'm in a band.
Yeah, and so it's like kind of a silly situation, but I can kind of thank my dad and Weird Al for making me at all, like, just putting the idea in my head of, like, this would be something I would kill to do. So while it's kind of a joke that I wish I could write that record, it comes from a place of, like, I don't know, almost like thanks.
Nostalgia? Yeah.
Yeah, nostalgia. Its purest form. But I'm trying to think if there would be something that's more, like, genre-esque.
See Weird Al and
I could
Capstan
say.
2021.
Oh, my God. Like,
Do it.
Please.
Let's do it, Weird Al.
That would be incredible. It's so hard to put it on the spot, but, like, one I've been jamming lately, especially with the news that we're going to be going on tour with Bayside. Bayside's self-titled.
Yes. Ooh,
Record
classic.
is just absolutely timeless. And
Yeah.
from a genre perspective, I think it's a perfect record. And that would be one that, like, I would have killed to have created. So let's say that is
There
right
we
up
go.
there.
Awesome. Next question, Boz. If you could compile a musical supergroup, who would be in your band?
Who would be in my band? Musical supergroup. I'm just learning more about drummers from Scott.
Yes.
I don't know a whole lot, but I really like Alex Rudinger.
Yes, he's fantastic.
So Rudy's really good. And then we just listen. I can never remember his name, but the drummer from Animals is Leaders.
Oh, Matt Garska.
Matt Garska. We just listened to a podcast with him with Craig Reynolds?
I believe it's Craig
Reynolds,
yeah.
The Downbeat.
Yes.
We just listened to that podcast, and his mind and the way that he works on stuff, both of those guys, Rudinger and Garska, would be my drummer. Can I say Joe is my lead guitarist?
Absolutely. There you go.
Joe blows my mind with his knowledge of music theory and and just knowing him from a personal perspective, he's taught me so much about trying to become like a better, just more technical.
Yeah,
being more conscious of your form and how you play, and also teaching our whole band music theory, like basically going through like
he's got like a chalkboard.
He's literally he's trying to do that. So Joe, I mean, I don't think anyone can compare to like the actual, and whether or not he's in our genre anymore. I love Brendan Urie's voice.
Oh,
like,
that'd be tight.
Yeah, Brendan Urie, and then was some type of like screamer, like probably like, let's say Keith Buckley.
Ooh,
so a combo.
okay,
and I know
okay.
Brendan Urie loves.
And they've done stuff together, so it would work out.
Yeah, like that's such a cool combo vocally. Maybe Spencer from Periphery.
Oh,
as the vocalist.
Triple threat.
Yeah,
I like it. Okay.
Not that I would add them all, but one, some combination of the
you could have all three. Come on.
Yeah.
We're going for gold here,
for
Boz.
sure. We are. And then I don't know. I'm just trying to think. Like I look up to so many bassists nowadays, but it's like the old ones that kind of really got me involved.
Oh, yeah.
Matt Freeman from Rancid.
Ooh, yeah.
Like Matt Freeman was the guy that made me realize you could like be technical on bass, and you could actually. You not necessarily technical, that you could do things that aren't just like playing root notes.
Yeah.
You're not just playing what the guitar plays. And while I have to kind of dial it back with Capstan a little because of we just have so much going on.
Yeah.
And it helps with singing to not do a ton of crazy stuff. It feels great like working with Joe, learning how to really bring out like he has such great ideas with the bass already.
Yeah.
And like what we write, and it's fun to just be a part of that. So some combination
of that would be nuts.
Yeah.
I would be so about that.
I don't know if it would work or what it would sound like, but it sure would be cool.
It doesn't matter. It just sounds sick. So I mean,
that's it. It could happen.
Free for the internet.
It could happen.
Free for the internet that it could happen. But
ooh, good catch. We almost lost you.
Almost lost it. We're gonna wrap it up because I don't know if this wind's gonna take away the camera or
right.
not.
It's getting windy out here, Philly.
You should tell them more about Capstan. Obviously, the new record, what you guys are doing, and I'm gonna stand behind the camera so it doesn't take off.
All right, sick. So this is my solo right now.
The solo.
So we're playing the night at Voltage Lounge in Philly. Every single venue so far on this tour and the last couple of tours has been incredible to us, the bands, the people. If you ever want to come out to a show, find us online. We post everything there, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
They're sick.
At Capstan Band or capstanband.com. If you don't know who we are, please check it out. I'm sure
Links
Brendan will post it in the comments who we are. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Can't wait to rip this gig in Philly. Everybody here is incredible. We'll see y'all again soon the next time we come to Philly, I hope.
There you go. Well, go check out Capstan. Listen, if I haven't talked about this band in the past month enough, please go give them some love. Their new record is fantastic. One of my favorites of the year, and I'm not saying that because I'm looking directly at Boz. I legitimately mean that is one of the best post-hardcore records to come out this year.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Go check them out. Check out the review. Check them out live because they are awesome live too. And check the links in the description where you can find out about the band, their music, all that stuff before we all fly away.
It is going here.
In this Philly wind. Shout outs to the rest of the guys. Shout outs to Jesse. Love you, dude. And this truck is rocking. Truck rocking behind us. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, y'all. Peace.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Of course, if you enjoy what we do, make sure to go check out the other series we do. We do album reviews, we do band interviews, and we do live videos, so definitely go check that out. Hit that subscribe button. It really helps out our channel, helps us grow. Make sure to hit that like button as well. Go follow us on social media. That's all down below. We try to keep that as updated as possible. We also made a new website where we'll be posting photos of upcoming concerts and stuff like that, which you can go check out at audioaddictionmedia.com and come get your fix with us, guys. Talk to you later. Deuces.